Good evening. I'm talking today about rewards and punishment and something psychological about them. In my opinion, rewards and punishments cause about 8 or more painful psychological conditions. Since rewards and punishments in their myriad forms are a part of life, so also myriad forms of painful psychological conditions are part of life also. Some of these conditions are addiction, bipolar disease, paranoia, OCD, ADHD, abused wife syndrome, sadomasochism. Antidotes may be attempted according to the particular cause. For example, a young woman with manic depressive disorder may be told by her mother that she's very sorry for having beaten her in the past and that she'll never do it again. The syndromes caused by rewards and punishments work in the following way. When the person feels unloved, he gives himself a false substitute, which is a reward for love, a false substitute for love, which is a reward, such as drinking, eating, an undue romantic interest. Then, after taking this binge, he feels guilty, which is fear of being punished, which is another substitute feeling for love. And so the syndrome, which is circular, continues and repeats itself. So because of this bad feeling of guilt, he might start drinking again. And it repeats itself endlessly if he doesn't find a solution. The feeling of guilt is also a substitute for being loved because it is a feeling and like a pretense that anybody else even notices or cares what he's doing. So feeling guilty is that fear of punishment, but probably there is no punishment because he's an adult and nobody really cares what he's doing, but it gives him the feeling somebody cares what I'm doing. And when he was a child, somebody probably said, well, if I didn't love you, I wouldn't punish you. I punish you because I love you. Well, that's a substitute for love. That's not real love. But maybe they love the person in general, but in that instance, that is not love. This syndrome goes beyond the individual when it affects his friends, relatives, work, etc. It affects economic, social, and political reality through prolonged obsessive relationships. Chain reactions occur as more and more people are affected and or join in. When world leaders have reward and punishment syndromes, the results are far-reaching. For example, if Hitler felt unloved, perhaps he would want to take more territory as a reward. And then he would that would be a substitute for love. When he would be punished by England, France, and the United States for what he did, which is another substitute for love. Those who reward and punish others receive a substitute feeling of love also. They tend to be feared more that way by those whom they may punish. This fear feels like respect, and so is another substitute for love. It's not real respect, but it feels that way. Churchill and Roosevelt may have felt this way when they punished Hitler in the war. Rewards and punishment in response to one another in our modern day exacerbate problems. It just makes it worse when somebody hits you and you say, okay, now I'm going to punish you, I'll hit you back. So he's giving you're giving him a false feeling of love because probably his father used to punish him. So now he's being punished again, and he feels, oh, this guy really cares about me because he's punishing me. Unconditional responses would be more helpful. Ways to deal as Jesus taught us. Love your enemy. That's what he was talking about, but he said it in a different way. I'm trying to use more modern language to explain Christianity, or what Jesus meant, what I believe he meant. Thank you for listening.